Yes, when I first watched the very first Steve Vai video that I ever saw, he was playing live. He was playing the song I Know You're Here. He came out, huge triple neck guitar, shredding on the middle neck, beautiful 12-string chords on the top, and he had like this fretless guitar neck at the bottom. I thought that was the coolest thing ever. I was like, there's no way anybody could ever top that. And the only one who has is Steve Vai. You know, he just keeps getting better and better. So definitely that was the moment that had the biggest lasting impact, you know, in my childhood for sure. I would tell myself, enjoy the whole ride, enjoy everything about it. Don't worry too much about things, you know, that don't really matter. Practice for sure, but don't over practice. And what I mean by that is, you know, I used to always want to be, you know, the fastest, the most, you know, amazing, you know, the coolest, whatever, you know, guitar player in the world. But at the end of the day, the only competition really you should have is yourself. So if you happen to be better than how you were yesterday, that's already a big win. So I would definitely tell myself to focus a little bit more on that, and not so much about, you know, trying to live up to other people's expectations on how my guitar playing should be, or how, you know, how good I should be at a certain point. But yeah. This is a tough question because I don't know how my solo shows would actually look like in the future. I mean, I think for now, people think, you know, solo Sebastian show would be, you know, very guitar driven, but I might be trying to navigate away from the, you know, the guitar world in the next coming years or so. So I think I would love to map out a big production stage, you know, elaborate costumes, intricate stage design, you know, platforms, pyro, lasers, the whole thing. So I think that would definitely be the idea that I would be leaning more into. Definitely a more theatrical experience in a much, you know, bigger scale for sure. I got started playing Jackson guitars mainly due to 3 bands: Ratt, Megadeth, and Def Leppard. So back when I started getting into, you know, heavy metal, I was really big into glam rock, glam metal, and Ratt was one of those bands that I absolutely love. I still love them to this day. But yeah, I remember, you know, Robin Crosby coming out with that super sick Black Beat in the Round and Round video. And then same thing for Megadeth. Hangar 18, Dave Mustaine with the King V, and Marty with the Kelly. And finally we have Def Leppard with the song Animal. Same thing in the video. Phil Collins is playing the super sick Jackson guitar, and I was like, no matter what it takes, I'm gonna get myself a Jackson guitar. And, you know, about 15 years later, we have this whole collection. So thank you to Ratt, Megadeth, and Def Leppard for inspiring me to play Jackson. The hardest album to record for me personally was this one. And I'm only saying this because I feel like I didn't have as much time to prepare with the guys as I would have liked to. Not many people know, but I was dealing with some visa stuff, getting back into the country since 2025, and what was supposed to be, you know, a quick in and out exit turned out to be like almost like a 5-month thing. So, you know, while the guys were working on the album, I was out in Mexico, you know, still trying to work on the album, learning the songs, but, you know, it's not the same if you're not working with your team and stuff like that. So when I came back, we only had about a month and a half to prepare, and we did pretty well. We did excellent. We did an excellent job. I just feel like I would have liked to have a little bit more time to familiarize myself with the songs, the riffs, and everything like that. But overall, I think we all nailed it. We did an excellent job, and it's going to come out extremely awesome. And we can't wait for you guys to hear it. So stay tuned. I'm actually like not a huge big wrestling fan. I mean, my cousin is, and like when I was in Mexico, I would go with him because I love hanging out with my cousin. He's super cool, very nice dude. But he and I would go to these like, you know, Mexican like lucha libre things, and they were super fun. I'm not gonna lie, they were hilarious. You know, lots of action. I was cracking up the whole time. But as far as like, you know, American wrestling, like, you know, WWE, that sort of stuff, I'm not too familiar with wrestlers and stuff like that. I mean, besides John Cena, and I know Travis Scott was on there for a little bit. So the only ones I know are John Cena and Travis Scott. So that's what, you know, those are the two that get my vote. I don't know if my opinion really counts, but there you go. One essential piece of advice I could give you is really start working on hand synchronization. When we're doing rhythm, you know, we pretty much just anchor our left hand and we move it across different chord positions. But with soloing, we're gonna need to really, you know, start nailing down individual notes, work on phrasing, work on legato, work on alternate picking. As far as the stretching, I mean, we don't really need, you know, Paul Gilbert style, you know, like alien-sized hands. Mine are not that, you know, my fingers are not super long either. So, but the one way to go around it is really your thumb placement. Where you place your thumb on the back of the neck is going to help you immensely. Like if you move it slightly down, or even, you know, as far down as you can, you'll be able to really get, you know, those big stretches for when you're doing, you know, 3 notes per string or sweeps and stuff like that. So I would play around with the thumb placement on the back of the neck. I used to be in a band called Maniac. Matter of fact, I used to be in about 20 bands, and a handful of those bands would always open for Spellcaster, or not always, but, you know, plenty of times we got to open up for Spellcaster. And back then I was, you know, Gabe, Colin, and Bryce, my friend from Silver Talon, and Brandon. He used to be in a band called Lucifer's Child, which was a King Diamond and Merciful Fate tribute band. So I actually got to open up for him. So, you know, I used to, and I still to this day look up to my bandmates in all sorts of ways. You know, they're super talented, amazing people, and I think it's really funny that I got to open up for all of my bandmates, and now I ended up in a band with all 3 of them. So it's like a full circle moment kind of thing, you know. But it's pretty fun. I love being in a band with these guys. So it's amazing stuff. Here are my top 10 albums, and in no way, shape, or form are they in any order whatsoever. So we're starting off with Steve Vai's Passion and Warfare, Metro Boomin's Heroes and Villains, Playboy Cardi's I Am Music, Queensryche's Operation Mindcrime, Michael Jackson's Bad, Don Toliver's Octane, The Weeknd, Hurry Up Tomorrow, Pink Pantheress, Heaven Knows, Travis Scott and Cactus Jack with Jack Boys, and last but not least, Loudspeaker by Marty Friedman. Top 10 of all time. That's a good question because I have like about 16 tracks, 16 songs. So it's gonna be a few different projects that might be released around the same time. But one for sure that I know the sound and what I kind of based it off of is Marty Friedman's Scenes album. So check it out, and you're gonna get an idea of what some of my solo music is going to sound like. I would love to. I just need to get all the tools and all the material, and it would be very time consuming, but I think it would be an amazing experience to do. I would love to build a guitar, from scratch, mapping it out to my exact, specifications, but it would be quite a big challenge for sure. There would be a lot that I would have to learn and a lot of tools I'd have to get. But maybe someday. Never say never, so. Yes and no. What I mean by that is I do think it's essential to know the notes, especially when jamming with other people who are not just guitar players, who are not like, hey bro, hit the third fret on the second string kind of thing. It does provide a broader understanding of the universal musical language if you want to jam with jazz people, band people, singers and stuff like that. Is it essential for the majority of us that are playing guitar? Not really. Why? Because we just want to rock. It's the same thing I do with my lessons. I'm not teaching theory in my lessons until we learn how to rock. Why? Because theory should always come after the fun part. We're gonna learn how to rock. We're gonna learn how to, play some riffs. And then once we get to a certain point that, when you want to know why a certain riff sounds the way it does, or, certain notes sound the way they do, that's when we delve into theory. So is it a good idea to learn all the notes? Yes. Is it necessary? No. But you should try to learn as many as you can. Just get familiar with them. Even just, the top two strings is pretty much all you really need. I think that's all you really need, especially when, working out chords and stuff like that. So at least learn the E string and the A string, all those notes. Yes, about 2 hours of Instagram reels. I'm just kidding, no. The only exercises I really do is I pretty much, I relax my hands, relax my fingers. I tend to, pop my joints, pop my wrists. But realistically, I just pretty much, sit down, start jamming my guitar, playing some chords, playing some solos. But that's about it, just, you don't have to be, stretching super, like to the max kind of thing. I think that's a little bit too extreme, but if you definitely are experiencing hand or finger pain, I would suggest, definitely consult someone, consult a doctor, and then they'll be able to recommend some more, hand stretches. But for me, what works is just literally hopping on my guitar and getting straight to jamming. That's the best kind of recipe that works for me, and maybe that'll work for you too.